That's 3 meat bees sitting there eating on those grapes. We've had these grapes for 20 years. There's another one flying in front. They're all over here. Now there's 4 or 5. So we've had these these grapes for 20 years. Never had an infestation of bees associated with the grapes. These are meat eater bees. They don't have stingers. They have pinchers on their mouth. So they don't sting you, they bite you. And it's almost like they're curious. They come buzz around you. It's almost like they don't have the natural instinct of an animal that evolved over time to leave the live animal alone. Out of curiosity, they come buzz around you, almost like they're curious, not aggressive, not attacking, but maybe hungry. Maybe so hungry they've resorted to eating grapes instead of meat, which is what they would naturally eat. Oops. Maybe these are the cleanup crew and there's not enough flesh for them to feed on, so they've resorted to grapes. Now I saw one of them that was a drunken bee stumbling around on one of the vines, but they're literally like buzzing all over these grapes. We've had them for 20 years, never seen anything like this. So, nature abhors a vacuum, so it fills the vacuum with something to take its place. And the honeybees are gone. That's what used to come around the grapes, pollinating the flowers. Now it's meat bees. Meat bees don't typically eat grapes. So maybe there's an influx, an expansion of their numbers, so much so that they have to find something to feed on, and they've found these grapes. And maybe these are the cleanup crew. And carnivorous insects have multiplied. Whether they've been released and genetically engineered, or it's just part of nature filling the vacuum of where the honeybees once were. And maybe these do, incidentally, pollinate just by flying from flower to flower, not by intention like the honeybee does, because they're not eating pollen, they're flesh eating. And they're eating the flesh of these grapes. Last week at work, we all got attacked by these bees. We drove the side-by-side wheeler out in the sagebrush, and we must have driven over one of the nests, because they nest in the ground. And we all started getting attacked by the bees. Some people got bit 2 or 3 or 5 times. And they're swarming all around me here. And so we had to move the wheeler because apparently, we'd driven over one of their nests or something. And so they came out in attack mode. The fact the honeybees are gone is just another example of how people are going through the motions of life, like the song says, I believe it's Bad Wolf, that we were waiting, taking up space. We're out there on the field with the uniform of Team Humanity. We're wearing a human suit. And then the ball rolls right in front of us, and we don't even try to kick it towards the goal. Instead, we just stand there and look at it and wait for someone else to do something. And pretend that we don't know which direction the goal is. How can I be expected to even tap the ball in the direction of the goal when I don't know what the goal or the purpose or the meaning of life is? One of the goals and the purposes and the meaning of life is to discover that there is purpose, meaning, and a goal. And people sit here pretending as if they don't even see what's happening all around them, and they don't participate in the game of life. This is just one of the many examples of how people do that. Trying to get it to focus and it keeps unfocusing. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you that meat bees are multiplying so quickly, or have been released in such numbers, that we have a massive infestation of them on these grapes, and we've had these grapes for 20 years. So something has drastically changed. The disappearance of the honeybee is the obvious one. So I would say that there are plenty of balls rolling in front of every one of us, giving an opportunity to participate in this life experience. But most people are just going through the motions and serving their own comfort and convenience rather than participating in life and finding a higher purpose. Their purpose is comfort and convenience. And in that way, that's why they're no longer part of Team Humanity, even though they're still wearing a human suit and they're on the field. Life is not a spectator sport, and not participating is not an option. Get in where you fit in. Grab the ball and run with it. There's plenty in front of you for you to decide what that means and how you can do that. But if you don't have a passion that you direct your efforts and attention towards, and you're just waiting, taking up space, waiting for all the answers to be revealed, well, then you're not going to like the answers that you get when the truth hits you. The truth was, you were being given opportunities to participate in so many different ways that make such a big impact on the world. And if you forfeit those opportunities, then you're not going to like the scorecard at the end of the game. You're going to get held back a year in Earth School.